Welcome to my channel Sap with Saundarya. Today we are going to see how a custom MDF object is created and assigned to a people profile and how the workflow should be created for the same. So today's support scenario which we are going to discuss is once all of this is done and if the company requests to change the workflow approval route, that is, let's say that first the workflow was going through the approval of manager. Now they want the HR admin approval instead of manager. So how we are going to do it? Let's start step by step in detail. So first we have to create the MDF object employee asset request, and it should have the relevant fields in it. So let's understand first of all what all fields should be there. So it should be request type, justification, request date, and status. Out of these four, these two, the request type and status, are pick list, and these pick list have the relevant values as well. So let's start the configuration in the system. We come to the system and go to pick list center. In pick list center, click on create new pick list and add the relevant data in the system. Let's see the ones which I've already created, which is asset request type. It will have the four values and with the status active. Similarly, let's see the second pick list which needs to be created, which is status of request. For this as well, you will see the three values and the status active. So now we are done with the pick list part. Let's go to configure object definition, where we are going to configure or create the new MDF object, the custom MDF object. Click on create new and go to object definitions. You will have a screen like this where you will fill in the details. Let me show it to you, the one which I've already created. Okay, now as you see, you can add the code, the effective dating, API visibility, and status. You can also add the label and the description. We scroll down, now we add the fields here, which is the custom fields, request type, justification, requested date, status. These are the four fields which were given by the client and which we have seen here. Now these two are the pick list. So in success factors, you will select the data type as pick list for these two, and you will maintain the external code of the pick list, not the name, but the external code here in valid value source. So once this is done, you can save the custom MDF object. But now the thing is that we want this custom MDF object to be visible in people profile. So what you will have to do is go to external code, the field external code, and make the data type as user. If you see earlier, it should come as string, but if you change it to user, then it would be visible for the user category as well. Now, go to configure UI. Manage configuration UI. Here you can create the screen basically, which will be coming as it is for the people profile. Now, let me show you to you what I have done. So this is asset request, which I have created. The ID is asset request, and this is the base object, employee asset request, which is the custom MDF object. And this is how the fields would look like. Okay, we can click on save. Now this is saved. If you have to create more configuration UI, you can click on create new. You can select, you can add the ID. Let's say request asset. You can select the base object, which is employee asset request. And then you can see the fields here. You can add, remove, edit, whatever you want. Once this is done, you have to remember the name of the ID, which is here. So basically this is asset request. So come back to configure business, sorry, configure definition, and then go back to your object, which is employee asset request. Here you get a field default screen. Select that here, the one which you configured in manage configuration UI. You have to select it from here in the drop down. Okay, once this is done, now you can save it. Now come to latest people profile. Here click on add category. Okay, so you can write the category name, which I have given as assets for employee. I can change it as employee asset request. Okay, is it a role based or it is for everyone? You can select in the way you want for your organization. Then you can click on create card. Select custom MDF object because that is a custom MDF object which we have created. Employee asset request. Go to the bottom of the screen and select the object from here. Once you do it, you will be able to see the card created here. Now save it and go to uh, manage role based permission. Manage permission roles. Okay, so if I select the relevant role, since I'm working in the demo environment, I have mainly in the SF admin role. You can understand what is the specific role you have to work on. You need to make sure after creating the object that all the permissions are given. So employee view sections and miscellaneous permissions. So if you face any difficulty, please make sure that these two permissions are there. Also, if you have to now see it at the profile of the employee in the people profile, then you have to select the role as the employee on self or employee self-service, whatever is there for your organization. So here it is employee on self. Here as well, you can select asset request. So you should see that the permissions are given. Check for people profile. For all the permission related to this relevant one should be there with the employee as well. Okay, so now once this is done, we have to now work on the workflow part. For that, you go to manage organization, page job structures. Select workflow. You have to always go on create new if you're creating something new. So let's say you go to create and you get the whole screen. Now let me show it to you how I have made it. So I go to workflow, I select my workflow which I've created for asset employee request. Okay, so currently it is only with the role of manager. Okay, and then we have the contributor in CC. So now let me show it to you how you assign this workflow to that MDF object. So for this workflow to be in action, there has to be some trigger point, right? So it could be on initialization, on saving. or something like that. So let's come to the object again, which is asset request. I'll scroll down to the bottom. Here you see the rules section. Initialize, validate, save, post save, delete, insert. So based on your conditions, you can select the rule. But as for our scenario, we go to the save rules and then we click on create or add new rule. We select rules for MDF object. We give the ID, description. The base object should be the one which you are working on, which is the asset employee asset request. And the purpose, validate, workflow, alert, status update, evaluate, onload, whatever is relevant to you. But for this, let's select workflow. Then we continue and the screen will come up. I have already created a rule which I wanted to show you, which looks something like this. So here, whenever a change is done, so I've kept the if condition as always true. So whenever there's a change and the employee is trying to save the record, the workflow should trigger. Now, which workflow should trigger? Let's see. Asset employee request. That is the one which we created where the role was assigned to manager. Okay, so this is how you do it, and you assign it in the configure object definition screen for the custom MDF object. But now let's say if the company comes up with a requirement that instead of the manager, you want the workflow to be triggered to hiring, the HR admin, then you have to go to manage organization page of structures. You got to select your workflow, make correction, select dynamic role, HR admin, because that is what the company has requested, and don't forget to save it. So earlier was the manager of the employee. So if, let me show you who was the manager. So we go to position org chart. This is the employee which we were checking. This employee's manager is Ahmed Shusha. Now let's see if now is it routing to the hiring manager or not. So I'll just go to the employee. Let me add the detail and try to save it. Yeah, it's going to the hiring manager Aisha Al Shamsi. So I hope you understand how the workflow changes could be done, how the custom MDF objects are created and linked to the people profile. There are some small but important details that need to be taken care of. So I hope this session was informative for you. Please let me know if you have any concerns. And I hope this helped you. Let me know if you're preparing for any certifications and if you need any help in any of the modules or topic. Thank you.